You ready to go on the record? All right. Let's go on the record. We are meeting outside the presence of the jury. The foreperson just handed a note to the bailiff on the way out. Is that correct, Manny?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're doing readback on the way out. Juror number 6 handed the bailiff a note. The note reads as follows. The jurors could benefit from an explanation as to what being under oath means. Additionally, how we should follow the law and not what we think the law should mean. So it's not really a question, I think. It's more of a request for further instructions. I'm inclined to explain to the jurors what it means to testify under oath. That means that they are subject to the penalty of perjury if they lie under oath. And I would let them know that under Penal Code Section 126, the maximum punishment for perjury is 4 years.
I would also add, Your Honor, that you should advise them that they should tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, which is what the oath
Okay,
is.
I'll explain that to them too. I plan on just doing this in open court. I don't think I need to write out an explanation of what it means to testify under oath. But is there any objection to the court explaining it in that way, Mr. Owens?
Yes, Your Honor. I don't think that there's any need to add any further instruction than has already been given. Like you said,
Well, we haven't instructed them on what it means to take an oath.
I understand that, but I think that you have explained what evidence is, and evidence includes the sworn testimony of witnesses, and that the idea that we're now injecting any outside penal code statutes.
Well, I won't cite the penal code. I'll say it's open to, they're subject to 4 years confinement if they testify falsely.
And that's what I'm objecting to, is that the court is now discussing the potential for imprisonment, consequences of perjury, and the fact that perjury charges could be levied, and that would cause them to speculate as to what may happen or what either is going to happen or is not going to happen, instead of allowing them to take the definition of evidence that's been provided and use that in terms of their own deliberations.
All right, so what's your suggestion?
That there's no need to respond whatsoever to this request for further instruction. That doesn't guide their deliberations in any way, and there was never any request originally for it.
All right, well, it's the policy of the court to always respond to the best of its ability to any questions the jury may have. If the court can assist them in defining an area of law that will assist them in reaching a verdict, I think that should be encouraged. So,
well, I think that the response should be, the court has provided you instructions on the definition of evidence, and we can even refer them directly to that instruction. Beyond that, I don't see that there's any need to specify anything other than what being under oath means.
all right, defense?
Clearly, there's an issue regarding, I have called to question and cross-examination of many of the Jane Does, their testimonies being untruthful. I would suggest the court proceed as it intended, also to let them know that testimony from the witness stand is sworn testimony.
Okay.
Either that or at the preliminary hearing, it is sworn testimony and subject to penalties.
Okay, all right, I won't tell them what the maximum punishment is. I will just say that it's the testimony is subject to penalty of perjury, and that sworn testimony not only consists of testimony from the witness stand here at trial, but also any other court proceedings, including a preliminary hearing, all right? And if they want further definition, I can provide that.
Yeah, it should say what an oath is, and the oath is to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
All right?
Your Honor,
Your
again, I don't think that that's necessary. They've been present for each time every single individual witness has been sworn and testified, but the court simply intends to state that sworn testimony means that it's subject to penalty of perjury, and that it would include both testimony at trial and pretrial hearings. Then we'll submit on that.
All right, how about,
It is necessary because they're specifically asking for it.
well, I'll define it. All right, what about the next question?
As to the second one, Your Honor, I would request that is something that I don't believe the court can really say, other than you have the jury instructions in front of you, that's the law and you need to follow the law.
Well, jury instruction 200, Calculum 200 states you must follow the law as I explained it to you, even if you disagree with it.
Right.
And I went over this with them during jury selection. That is one of the questions that was on the questionnaire that I gave to them. Can you follow the law as the court shall give it to you, even if you disagree with that law? They all said they could, and they all said they could, by the way, under oath, which gets to their first clarification. So I will remind them of that jury instruction. I even told them, I explained to them why it's important to have uniform laws applied throughout the state. I told them the same law that applies in this courtroom has to apply in a courtroom across the hallway, a courtroom in Mammoth Lakes, California, or a courtroom in Sacramento, California. The law has to apply equally and the same in every courtroom across the state, and we can't have a different law applied just because we happen to have one or two jurors who think they should legislate a new law in a jury room. So I will explain that to them.
Fine, Your Honor.
All right, any objection to that, Mr. Owens? All right, let's bring him in. Oh, what's that?
That's 200, exactly the line.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's what I just read. Okay, thanks. From Nicole Edwards, but before we do, I just received a note before he went out from the foreperson. It was handed to the bailiff. The bailiff just handed it to me. The note reads as follows. There's two sections to the note. The first part says, the jurors could benefit from an explanation as to what being under oath means. So I will explain a little bit further what being under oath means. You have all heard every witness who comes into the courtroom take an oath to tell the truth. And that is an oath where they have to agree to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And that oath requires them to, when they take the stand, not only here at trial, but also at the preliminary hearing that was held some time ago, that requires that witness to testify truthfully. If they do not testify truthfully under oath, they are subject to the penalties of perjury of the state of California. Now, I hope that answers the question, but when somebody takes an oath to tell the truth, they have to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And you heard over 30 witnesses stand before you and take that oath. It's an oath that's administered by the clerk, and it subjects them to the penalty of perjury if they don't. The next question, well, it's not really a question, it's a statement. It said, additionally, how we should follow the law and not what we think the law should mean. And we went over this. Now, it's been a while. It's been, gosh, 3.5 weeks since we went through jury selection. And if you recall back to those times, there was a question I put on that jury selection questionnaire that asks you if you can follow the law as the court explains it to you, even if you disagree with the law. And speaking of taking oath, you all said under oath that you could follow the law as the court explains it to you, even if you disagree with the law. And you may not remember, but I went through an explanation explaining that the law has to apply equally in every courtroom throughout the state of California. The law that applies in this courtroom has to apply in the courtroom down the hall. It has to apply in a courtroom down in Chula Vista within San Diego County. It has to apply in a courtroom up in Mammoth Lakes, California even. It's the same throughout the entire state. We cannot have a different law being applied in any courtroom anywhere in this state just because a juror or some jurors happen to disagree with that law. The court instructed you, you must follow the law as I explain it to you, even if you disagree with it. If you go back into that jury room and you look at Calcrim number 200, it says it right there in plain English. It says you must follow the law as I explain it to you, even if you disagree with it. It doesn't say you can follow the law or you may follow the law if you choose to. It is mandatory language that you absolutely must follow the law as I've explained it to you. Now, if anyone feels as though they can't follow the law as I explain it to you, I need to know about it. You send out a note. If someone doesn't feel they can follow the law, you send out a note and you let me know and we'll deal with it, okay? I think that answers the question, right? Okay. With that said, then, we will continue with the readback. We'll go off the record in just a moment. We'll do the readback for Nicole Edwards in direct examination as well as cross-examination. I think it's about 30 pages or so it might take 20 or 30 minutes. All right? So we'll go ahead and hear the readback from Nicole Edwards at this time. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Thank you. Direct examination by Mr. Owens. Good afternoon, Ms. Edwards. Thank you for being here. I'm going to ask you some questions about an incident that occurred back in 2003. Are you familiar with the person who we're going to refer to as Jane Doe 4 in this case? Answer, I am. Question, how is it that you know Jane Doe number 4? Answer, we were friends back in high school. Question, when is it that you met her originally? Answer, I would say freshman year. Question, when you say that you were friends back in high school, do you remain close friends today? Answer, no. Question, when was the last time that you would say you had any direct, regular contact with her from now going back towards the high school days? Answer, I would say maybe just a few years after high school. Question, do you recall whether or not she moved away right after you finished high school? Answer, she did. Question, where did she move? Answer, I think it was Hawaii. Question, now if you became friends your freshman year, what high school did you actually go to when you met? Answer, Mount Carmel. Question, did you continue through the entire time at high school at Mount Carmel? Answer, I did, yes. Question, did she? Answer, no, she moved. Question, do you remember what high school she went to? Answer, Escondido. Question, do you remember when it was that she did that? Answer, I don't remember. Question, sometime after freshman year but before the end of high school? Answer, correct. Question, how often would you spend time with her when you were in high school? Answer, pretty frequently, I would say. Question, and what sorts of things would you do together? Answer, typical high school stuff, like movies, probably hang out with friends, hang out at the mall. Question, now do you recall a time in the spring, the end of the school year, your senior year of high school, where you and Jane Doe number 4 went out for the evening? Answer, yes. Question, do you remember the specific date that was? Answer, no. Question, is it fair to say that this happened now almost 16 years ago? It might be difficult to remember some of those details. Answer, correct. Question, were you contacted by the district attorney's office on July 10th of last year regarding what you remembered from this incident in June of 2003? Answer, yes. Question, prior to being contacted by the district attorney's office, did Jane Doe number 4 reach out to you through social media at some point before our interview with you? Answer, yes. Question, do you remember how it was that she reached out to you? Answer, it was through Instagram. Question, and when was the last time that you would have actually directly spoken with Jane Doe number 4 before she reached out to you via Instagram? Answer, I believe it was a few years before that. Question, do you remember the last time that you saw her, like how that happened? Answer, I don't. I believe she came to visit when her mother was ill, but I don't remember when that was exactly. Question, and is it Your best recollection is that that was a few years before June or July of 2018, is that right? Answer, correct. Question. Now, when you were contacted by Jane Doe number 4, do you remember what it was that she contacted you about? Answer, it was, I think she sent me an article about the initial arrest, and then she asked me if I remember what happened to her. Question. When you say that she sent you an article about an initial arrest, what are you referring to? Answer, it was Kellen Winslow's arrest. I'm not sure which one or what it was about. Question. And when she sent you that article, had you actually seen the news that a person by the name of Kellen Winslow had been arrested? Answer, yes. Question. Had you seen that before she sent you the article? Answer, yes. Question. Now, had you been in regular communication with her or reached out to her prior to her sending you that Instagram message? Answer, no. Question. When she asked you if you remember what happened to her, do you remember how you responded? Answer, yes. Question. What did you say? Answer, I said, yes, I do remember. Question. What were you referring to when you told her, yes, I do remember? Answer, that she was taken advantage of, pretty much. She said she was raped at that time. Question. When you're saying that she said she had been taken advantage of or raped, are you referring to back in June of 2003? Answer, yes. Question. I want to ask you some of the details as you best recall of what happened on that evening. Do you remember first where you and Jane Doe number 4 were when you started the night? Answer, not initially, but I know we were at some house party somewhere, I believe. Question. Do you remember what part of town that house party was in? Answer. I'm going to assume maybe Scripps Ranch, Mira Mesa, somewhere in that area. Question. Why do you say it that way, that you're going to assume that it was either in the Mira Mesa or Scripps Ranch area? Answer. We tend to hang out more in that area at that time. Question. Do you have a fairly vague recollection of that particular night? Answer. Yes. Question. Now, can you tell us, as best you recall, what happened after you were at a house party with Jane Doe number 4? Answer. We left and we went to a different house that had fewer people. Question. Why is it that you associate that night with Kellen Winslow? Answer. He was there. Question. Had you met Kellen Winslow before this particular night? Answer. I don't remember. I don't think so, but I think it's more not officially meet, but seen him around. Question. Okay. And when you say that you had seen him around, did you know much about him? Answer. That he was an athlete, football player. Question. Did you know whether he was in high school or if he was in college? Answer. I don't think he wasn't in high school because they were older than us, but I'm not sure about college. Answer. When you say they were older than you, who were you referring to? Answer. Him and his associates or his friends? Question. Did you know any of his friends? Answer. I knew one of them. Question. What was that person's name? Answer. Chris. Question. Do you know Chris's last name? Answer. Resto. Question. How did you know Chris Resto? Answer. I believe his family were friends with Jane Doe 4's family, or Jane Doe's family. Do you know whether or not Jane Doe 4's family, as far as you knew, may have been friends with Chris Resto's family? Answer. Correct. Question. And when, as far as you know, did Jane Doe 4 know Chris very well? Answer. I'm not sure very well, but I know they knew of each other, yes. Question. Now, were you dating anybody during this time frame? Answer. No. Question. Were you seeing anybody or talking to anybody in a romantic way? Answer. No. Question. In terms of June of 2003, were you and Jane Doe 4, did you hang out with Chris or Kellen Winslow very often? Answer. Not directly. It was more seeing them out and in public areas. Question. And when you say in public areas, what types of places do you recall seeing Mr. Winslow? Answer. I would say either at sporting events or like house parties or any other high school type functions. Question. Did you see Mr. Winslow in court today? Answer. Yes. Question. Where is he seated and what is he wearing? Answer. He's wearing a suit with glasses. The court. The record will reflect identification. Well, there's two people with suits and glasses. Can you be more specific? The witness. Second from the far wall. The court. The record will reflect identification of the defendant. Question. And had you ever really spoken to him or spent much time with him? Answer. No. Question. So on the night in question that you remember something happening with Jane Doe number 4 after the house party that was in the Scripps Ranch or Mira Mesa area, did you come into contact with Mr. Winslow or Chris or any one of his friends? Answer. They were at the second place. Question. Do you remember how it was that you got to the second place? Answer. I don't remember. Question. Do you remember who you were with? Answer. I was with Jane Doe number 4. Question. And when you and Jane Doe number 4 were together, was anyone else there if you recall? Answer. There were several people, yes. Question. Prior to getting to the house, do you remember how you knew or how you learned that you would then go to that second house? Answer. I don't remember. Question. Once you were at the house, how many people would you say were there? Answer. I would say no more than 10. Question. And would that include you and Jane Doe 4? Answer. Yes. Question. And who else, as far as any names of the individuals who were there, who do you recall being present? Answer. Kellen and Chris. Question. Do you remember anyone else being there other than you, Jane Doe number 4, Mr. Winslow, and Chris Resto? Answer. Not by name or faces. Question. Can you describe the second house that you were at? Answer. I don't. The only thing I remember was it being on a corner or near a corner, and it was a 2-story home. Question. What type of home was it? Answer. What do you mean by what type of home? Question. Was it an apartment? Was it a townhouse? Was it a single-family house? Answer. No, it was a single-family house. Single-family house. Question. Okay, and what do you remember doing when you got to the second house? Answer. Initially, I don't remember, but I do remember falling asleep on the couch downstairs. Question. Did you hang out in the backyard or inside the house? Answer. I believe I stayed indoors. I don't remember going outdoors. Question. When you say that you remember falling asleep on the couch, do you remember who was around? Answer. I do not remember. Question. Was the majority of the group that was there, the 10 or so people that you estimate, were they mainly downstairs? Answer. There were some upstairs. Question. What do you remember happening before falling asleep? Answer. I don't recall much. I don't remember. Question. Is it fair to say that it's difficult to recall all of these types of specifics? Answer. Correct. Question. Prior to being contacted by Jane Doe number 4 via Instagram in June of last year, had you thought much about that night? Answer. Not really. Question. Why is that? Answer. I guess because we lost contact, so it was more of an out of sight, out of mind kind of situation. Question. And understanding that a lot of time has passed and you might not have thought about it much, is it difficult to recall all the specific details of that night now? Answer. Very difficult. Question. Now, what do you recall happening after you fell asleep on the couch? Answer. I remember waking up to Jane Doe number 4 saying we have to go. I believe she was coming down the stairs, pretty distraught, crying, saying we had to leave, and that's pretty much all I remember. Question. And you remember specifically whether she was upset and crying? Answer. Yes, she was. Question. And do you remember actually leaving right after that? Answer. I don't remember if it was soon after that, but I know we left. Question. Do you remember seeing anyone else around when Jane Doe number 4 came down the stairs in that way? Answer, I don't remember. Question, did you see Mr. Winslow with Jane Doe number 4 at any point that night? Answer, I don't remember. Question, showing you what's been previously identified as Court's Exhibit 4, do you recognize the people that are in that photograph? Answer, yes. Question, who are they? Answer, Jane Doe number 4 and Kellen Winslow. Question, do you know if you took that picture? Answer, I don't remember. Question, do you know when that picture was taken? Answer, I don't remember. I look fairly young. Question, is that the way that Jane Doe 4 looked when you knew her and used to spend time with her in high school? Answer, yes. Question, is that the way that Mr. Winslow looked, at least in the times that you saw him around in high school? Answer, yes. Question, now what do you remember happening after Jane Doe 4 came down the stairs crying and distraught? Answer, I don't remember where we went after. We left, but I don't remember where we went or what we did exactly after that. Question, did anybody go with you when you and Jane Doe 4 left? Answer, I don't remember. Question, can you tell us how she was acting during this car ride? Answer, I just remember her crying, but she wouldn't tell me then what was going on. Question, do you remember what she was saying to you? Answer, I don't think. At that time, she didn't really say much. I believe it was either the next day or several days later when she told me what happened. Question, and when she was talking to you about what happened, do you remember what it was that she said? Answer, she was saying that she was trying to say no, or she was saying no, but he wouldn't get off of her, and that he was too big for her to fight back. Question, did she tell you that he wouldn't listen when she told him no? Answer, I don't remember her specific words, but I remember her saying that she was telling him no. Question, did she say that he had forced himself on her? Answer, that I don't remember. Question, now did she tell you who it was that had done this to her on that night? Answer, not initially. Question, did she at any point tell you that? Answer, eventually, yeah, she did. Question, do you remember when that was? Answer, I don't remember exactly. Question, was it at least close in time to when this happened? Answer, yes. Question, and who was it that she had said forced himself on her after she was telling him no? Answer, that it was Kellen. Question, did you know who she meant? Answer, yes. Question, did you ever talk to her in much detail about exactly what happened? Answer, no. Question, now did she tell you that she didn't want to talk about it? Answer, yeah, she told me she didn't want to talk about it and then not to say anything to anybody. Question, did you ever talk to anybody about it? Answer, no. Question, did she say something to you about a video of the incident? Answer, yes. Question, what do you remember her telling you about the video? Answer, I remember she was saying there might be a video, and then just being around, there was rumors about a video of that night. Question, and when you're saying that you recall hearing rumors about a video, did you and Jane Doe number 4 try to find out if it existed? Answer, I don't think we tried hard enough. I think it was more just asking around, but it was all he said, she said type. Question, right. Now, did you ever actually talk to anybody about whether there was video? Answer, no. Question, you remember her telling you about it though? Answer, yes. Question, now this night that you were hanging out at the house party and then ultimately ended up at the second house, do you remember if you were drinking? Answer, I don't remember. Question, do you remember if she was drinking? Answer, don't remember. Question, do you know if Mr. Winslow was drinking? Answer, I don't know. Question, do you know if Chris Resto was drinking? Answer, I don't know. Question, do you recall what type of car Chris Resto drove during that time frame? Answer, oh, I don't remember. Question, do you remember anything about Mr. Winslow's car during that time frame? Answer, no, I do not. Question. Now, when Jane Doe 4 brought this up through an Instagram message, did you tell her that you would support her? Answer. Yes. Question. Were you willing to at least be there for her if she needed you? Answer. Yes. Question. Why is that? Answer. I've never been in that situation, but I can only imagine what she is going through. So I question, what did you? Answer. Emotionally support, I would be there. Question. What did you mean when you said you would support her? Answer. Because I think she said she may, bring it up and go to trial with it. She asked if I, would come up and be a witness or testify. I said, yeah, I will. Question. Did you tell her that if that did in fact happen, that you would be interviewed by the investigators? Answer, yes. Question. In terms of when you spoke to the investigators from the district attorney's office in July of last year, is it fair to say that you were thinking as best you could, at least as of that time, what all the specifics you could remember from that night? Answer, correct. Question. In terms of your testimony today, it may be difficult to remember the specifics, but do you recall that interview being recorded? Answer, yes. Question. And were you attempting to be honest and accurate when you spoke to the investigators on that day, July 10th? Answer, yes. Mr. Owens. Nothing further, Your Honor. Cross-examination by Mr. Watkins. Ms. Edwards, you and Jane Doe number 4 were friends since freshman year, right? Answer, yes. Question. And this happened senior year, or maybe even a year after senior year? Answer. It was before I graduated, so... Question. But you guys were close friends, right? Answer, correct. Question. That's your girl, right? Answer, correct. Question. You guys partied together? Answer, yes. Question. How often would you guys party together? Answer. Oh, I would say maybe once a month. Question. Once a month? Answer. Not too often. Question. Okay, you guys talked about boys? Answer. Yes. Question. Confided in each other, right? Answer. Yes. Question. And you guys would drink together, right? Answer. Yes. Question. When you guys would go to parties, would you guys stay together, or would you guys both, would you guys go off doing your own thing? Answer. I don't remember. I would say the majority of those times we did stay together. Question. Right. And so you've seen her drink, right? You've seen Jane Doe number 4 drink? Answer, yes. Question. And you've seen her consume 2 or 3 beers, right? Answer, yes. Question. Yes, that's typical of what you guys would consume at a party. Answer, I would say so, yes. Question. Did you ever see her consume mixed drinks? Answer, I don't remember. Question, you don't remember. But you'd seen her drink 2 or 3 beers, right? Answer, yes. Question. Did you ever see her drink to intoxication where she's totally drunk? Answer. No, I don't think so. Question. Okay, had you ever seen her drink to the point where she passes out? Answer. No. Question. Never in your whole time, right? Answer. Never. Question. Okay, you guys would keep it to those standard 2 or 3 drinks, right? Answer. I would say so, yes. Question. Okay, the parties that you went to pretty much consisted of drinking and talking to boys. Is that fair? Answer. I would say a majority of them, yes. Question. All right, let's go to that night. You went to a small house party, right? After the first house party, you went to a smaller house party. Answer. Yes. Question. I know that this was a long time ago and your memory's a little hazy, right? Answer. Yes. Question. But you do remember very distinctly that the house was on a corner? Answer. That a corner or near a corner is what I picture. Question. And you remember that it was a 2-story house, right? Answer. Correct. Question. And you even told us that when you testified at the preliminary hearing back in July, right? Answer. Yes. Question. Okay, so that's something that stuck in your mind? Answer. Yes. Question. So now you're at the smaller house party and you're downstairs, right? Answer. Yes. Question. And you're on the couch? Answer. Yes. Question, is Jane Doe 4 with you on the couch? Answer, no. Question, no. You said that. Did you see her go upstairs? Answer, I don't remember. Question, well, would you have let 4 guys take Jane Doe upstairs? Answer, no. Question, so you're on the couch and you're falling asleep, right? Answer, yes. Question, so Jane Doe 4's not on the couch with you, right? Answer, no. Question, and there's other people there in that house, right? Answer, yes. Question, there's people upstairs? Answer, yes. Question, there's people downstairs? Answer, correct. Question, was Chris Resto there? Answer, I believe so. Question, Chris Resto's at this party? Answer, yes. Question, by the way, do you and Chris Resto have a relationship? Answer, no. Question, you guys were never intimate? Answer, no. Question, is there music playing? Answer, I don't remember. Question, but what you do remember is that you see Jane Doe 4 coming down the stairs, right? Answer, correct. Question, right. And did you see anybody carrying her? Answer, I don't remember. Question, have you ever seen your friend, Jane Doe 4, so drunk that she needed to be carried? Answer, no. Question, did you see her so drunk that night that she needed to be carried? Answer, no. Question, and so you saw her walking down the stairs, right? Answer, I believe so, yes. Question, and then you guys, she says, come on, we've got to go, right? Answer, something like that, yes. Question, she basically gave you the impression that you guys had to get out of there, whatever word she used? Answer, correct. Question, right. Who drove? Answer, I don't remember. Question, the prosecutor was asking you about when you spoke to the district attorney investigator that you gave true answers and correct answers, right, to the best of your recollection? Answer, correct. Question, right. And during your interview, citing court and counsel to page 8, lines 16 and 17, they asked you, were you driving that night? And your answer was, I don't think so, right? Answer, correct. Question, is it your memory now if you weren't driving, do you know who would have been driving? Answer, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't remember. Question, but you and Jane Doe 4 went to that party together, right? Answer, correct. Question, so you arrived together in the same car, right? Answer, I believe so. Question, so then if you weren't driving and you guys came together, she must have been driving, right? Answer, I don't remember if there was other people with us. Question, you wouldn't have drove drunk with her, would you? Answer, no. Question, and then during this ride home, she mentions that she told him no, but she didn't tell you anything more than that, right? Answer, not on the ride. I don't believe it was the ride home. I believe she wouldn't say much. I don't remember what exactly she said on the ride home, but she didn't really say much until after. Question, okay. She never told you that she had passed out, did she? Answer, no. Question, and then it's later that you guys hear talks about a videotape, right? Answer, correct. Question, did she ever tell you that she was telling him no and some guys were videotaping it? Answer, no. Question, when she told you what happened, she didn't use the word rape. She just said she had sex, right? Answer, I don't remember the exact word she used. Question, well, when you were speaking with the district attorney investigator and you were recalling the events, citing court and counsel to page 5, line 24, you said, but she didn't use the word rape, but I know they said they had sex, right? That was your recollection, right? Answer, yes. Question, and you don't remember everything, but you remember that part, right? Answer, correct. Question, Jane Doe 4 never told you that she was gang raped, right? Answer, no. Question, she only just mentioned an incident with just Kellen, right? Answer, correct. Question, she didn't say other guys participated, right? Answer, no. Question, she was just focused on Kellen, right? Answer, correct. Question, she never told you that Kellen pushed her face into another guy's genitals, did she? Answer, no. Question, I mean, you'd remember something like that, wouldn't you? Answer, yes. Question, she never told you that she was being digitally penetrated while in a car by multiple guys, did she? Answer, no. Question, you'd remember something like that, wouldn't you? Answer, yes. Question, she never had to be carried to your car, did she? Answer, I don't really think so, no. Question, well, you'd remember someone carrying your girlfriend to the car, wouldn't you? Answer, right. Question, and that didn't happen, did it? Answer, no. Question, okay, but what you do remember, it's also very clear in your mind, even though you don't remember all the events from that night, is that she came downstairs upset? Answer, correct. Question, and this was the first night, the only night that her and Kellen were together, right? Answer, that I know of. Question, that you know of. Well, this was the first night that they had sex, right? Answer, that I know of. Mr. Watkins, nothing further. Redirect examination by Mr. Owens. Question, when you spoke to the district attorney investigator on July 10th of last year, didn't you in fact say that they had sex and he forced himself on her? Answer, yes. Question, didn't you in fact say that she had told him no multiple times and that he wouldn't listen? Answer, yes. Question, and didn't she in fact tell you that he was too big so she couldn't get him off of her? Answer, yes. Mr. Owens, nothing further. Recross examination by Mr. Watkins. Question, when you guys started exchanging text messages about coming to court and that sort of thing, was it you that said, we've got to take Kellen down? Answer, yes. Mr. Watkins, nothing further. Further redirect examination by Mr. Owens. Question, what did you mean by that? Answer, it was more so, I didn't want to just stand back and not do anything and let this happen to any other females or anybody else. Question, and is that answer, so I'm... The court, let her finish her answer. Go ahead and finish your answer. The witness, I just felt like something had to be done. Mr. Owens. Question, what did you mean when you say something had to be done, based upon what you remember with Jane Doe number 4 and what you knew at that time when you sent that message? Answer, to speak up so it won't happen to anybody else. Question, did you feel based upon what happened to Jane Doe number 4 that you should have spoken up before? Answer, I should have, yes. Question, did you feel somewhat responsible for the fact that this happened to other people? Answer, somewhat, yes. Question, is that what you were referring to? Answer, yes. Mr. Owens, nothing further.
All right, we'll go back on the record. Are you all set? Okay. All right, we're back on the record. The court reporter has completed the readback of both Jane Doe number 4 as well as Nicole Edwards. We'll go ahead and have you return back to the jury room. Again, you can set your own schedule. I want to let you know it seems to me you're being very thorough in your examination of the evidence, which is what is to be expected. I want to remind you there are no time limits on your deliberation. This is a very important case, and you can take as much time as you want. I know that you were all cleared for jury selection for the next 2 weeks. I'm not suggesting it's going to take 2 weeks, but I want you to know there are no time limits. I want you to thoroughly examine the evidence and the law in this case, so you can go ahead and go back in the jury room and continue your deliberations. Thank you very much. Allow counsel an opportunity to augment or comment on it. Mr. Owens, are you satisfied with the response the court gave to the jury?
Absolutely, thank you.
All right, the defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're satisfied? Okay, all right. Thank you very much then. We'll be in recess.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.